I've been trying to work on my mind. Let me speak for a minute though. Let me just think for a little bit. I'm just trying to breathe when I'm spitting this. I'm stressing all of the time. Let me meditate for a minute though. Let me just think for a minute though. Ain't nobody to blame when I'm in it for the love. I've been thinking, stay fly, being positive, Chief and Joe, that's all I know. Prosper, get it how you wanna. I ain't hating, do your thing, that's all I know. Something like a paper chase, still rap, kill that, that's how I go. Still gon' wake and make smoke, woods give dap, that's how I roll.
Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be doing a restoration slash fix on this brush trimmer here. And yeah, basically a friend of mine owns it. He said I could borrow it if I fix it. He doesn't know what's wrong with it. Says it will start up and run for a little bit and then die, and he has to wait a while to restart it. So today is going to be the diagnosis and the fix. So far, all I have done is pulled off the fuel tank to look inside, make sure there's nothing in there. There is no fuel filter, and we're going to replace the fuel line as well. So, all right, let's get started. You filming?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, this is basically the hose clamp that came off the old fuel line. Obviously, they're not the same size. But, you know, this one's close enough, and the inner diameter is coming out to about the same. So we're going to hope it works. All right, guys, so on this particular model of brush trimmer, which I'm actually not sure what model it is, the inlet for fuel on the carburetor is very, very close to the engine itself, and I don't like that. But so all right, that side's on. Now our fuel tank here, it bolts on just like that. But before we do that, we're actually going to pull this fuel line through here, determine about how long we need to make it. So can you see that? So our tank's going to sit right there. The fuel line is going to go right there. So we're going to probably, I'll just hold this with my fingers. And always guess a little longer than your original guess, because you can always cut it twice. But once it's too short, you can't undo it. Of course, I brought the worst cutters out here today. Yep, I'm gonna have to find some scissors.
I think I got a pair of pliers in my car.
Okay. Oh, we got it.
Okay.
Yep. There it is. All right.
All right.
So now, these are the two bolts that go hold the gas tank in place. And we're just going to set these in here kind of snug like. And go find a socket. Okay. I'm going to guess 10 millimeter, but this is probably in the age of when America didn't use metric. But you know what it is? It's a 10 millimeter. Yeah, no, that's I don't mind standard, but you know, let's be honest, metric's easier. And why have two standards, you know?
Yep.
Okay, you really don't want to get these too tight because it's just a plastic housing, especially like this one's older. It could crack really easy.
Yeah.
So just a nice snug fit. If they come loose, you can always tighten them later, but you can't go back and fix a broken fuel tank without buying a new one. So I'm sure the YouTube experts are gonna correct me on that one. JB Weld, motherfucker. So right now, I think I just need an 8mm socket here. 8mm socket to undo this hose clamp that wasn't meant to be a hose clamp for this size. But you know, if it works, right? So I'm gonna loosen this thing up here and we're actually going to put it on this other end. I want to make sure you face it in a way that you can get to it. So I believe for us that is going to be like that. And then it's going to go underneath. And right here on the front side is where we'll tighten this. So yeah, that's going to have to scoot forward. Now this is sketchy because there's only a little bit of plastic basically underneath the hose. So like with all this twisting motion, it could easily snap off. So you see how I'm holding it? I'm like, that's if you're gonna do it like this, you definitely want to do that, not let this move too much. I think this hose clamp might be trash. Alright, it's getting snug. Alright, that's as tight as I'm comfortable. I'm sure you guys saw that flex a little bit more than I'm comfortable with. Alright, so now the big test is we'll put some gas in it and see if anything leaks. Alright, so now that we have the fuel line on, we need to put some gas in it to make sure it's not leaking anywhere or it's not going to leak. I wouldn't call what we've done here permanent, but it's good enough for now for us to do our testing and determine what's wrong with this. So yeah, we're going to pour some gas in it. Okay. You see any gas anywhere?
Nope.
Alright, that should be enough for our testing. It's like a half tank roughly. I don't want to use it all in case we gotta go ride the old red rocket there. Okay, so I'm not really sure what's going on with this. I don't know which way is which here. It says start that way and stop that way, but that does not look factory. I'm not even sure, like this could have gone the other way, you know what I'm saying? So like that might be full throttle. If we look down here at the mechanism though, it'll give us a better clue as to what's happening. Okay. So there's a rod right here. I'd imagine this is our throttle linkage. Yep. This is throttle linkage. And it looks like that way it's going to be full throttle and this way is going to be stopped. So that's actually right for once. Wow. Okay, what is we got on off switch here. We definitely want it on the on. Spark plug's tight. Do we have a primer button on the carburetor somewhere? I'm not feeling one. I think this is, that looks like throttle linkage. That definitely is. A deal right here. Let's make sure there's some oil in this thing. Okay. Tilt it back just a little bit. Yep, there's oil in it. It's nice and black. Okay. Come give her a yank. Doesn't smell like gas. Do you smell gas?
No.
Yeah, me either. Wondering if that's our choke. That would be in the wrong spot for it though. There's the choke. This would be it. Yep. Okay. This isn't moving, this rod. Oh, I get it. Okay, so choke down. Alright. I'm not smelling fuel. So okay, there's our problem right there. What was that? This is that petcock. Yeah, and it should be letting fuel out. Yep. It's definitely not. Okay. Where's that little small piece of tubing? This is this one. Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
Just got gas in your mouth. That's what they call gas to mouth.
Oh, yes. Yes. Alright, so now the fuel's on.
Alright.
Okay.
Let's see if it'll go this time.
Water drain valve right here or something. Oh, that's the pin for the air filter. Alright, let's try putting that back on. A bunch of something, just pretty sure that's gas.
Yeah.
Start dumping. That's an indicator to me that floats are probably stuck or something. Basically, there's a number of things that could have caused that to happen like that. But in my opinion, it seems like a stuck float. It was definitely running too rich as soon as I hit the choke on it. Once it was running, it died. Basically, then shortly after that, turned the choke off, it started back up, running real rough, and dumping gas out of the bottom of the carburetor. So it says choke that way, so we're gonna keep the choke off here. Let's see if we can get her to start again with the gas off. floats are definitely stuck open. That's why it was filling the intake tube with gas. And yeah, so basically, end result, this could need a new carburetor. But we're actually going to take this apart and see if we can't fix it without buying a new one, because, you know, I know so many people nowadays are just like, yeah, just buy a new one. But, you know, I will say about 95% of the time with carburetors, like, they can be fixed. But it's all about the amount of work that it needs to do it. So say, like, if this one needs some new jets, if it needs new jets, floats, you know, full rebuild, the cost to do that may be comparable to the cost of a new carburetor. And at that point, then yes, might as well just buy a new one. But, you know, say that like the jets look good, there's not too much corrosion buildup, anything like that, and it's just a stuck float. Like, there's no reason we can't just clean that, throw it back together, and call it a day. You know what I mean? So, you know, for your average person who has the money to fix things, sure, go buy a new one. But, you know, I will tell you, most people out there nowadays do not have that money. So, if you're trying to learn that way, then you're watching the right YouTube channel. All right. So we will get back to you here shortly when we are tearing apart the carburetor. All right, guys. We got all the tools, everything we need now. Basically, on this carburetor, I don't know if it's the same with all these or if this is something someone did along the line, but it's got a bolt right here and then a screwdriver screw right there to hold this carburetor on. Other than that, I don't see much else holding this carburetor on, so we're just going to start there and see. That one actually came out really easy. That scares me, because that says to me that someone already tried to do this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like the fact that there's a screw and a bolt. Like,
yeah, someone's definitely had to pull this apart.
yeah.
But there is a chance that from the factory it came this way. For some reason, they may have used a bolt there.
Yeah.
I've seen it done before. It's not a common practice, but it does happen. Yeah, see, this is definitely standard. You know how I know? This is an 11 millimeter, and it fit perfectly.
Yeah.
You know something's wonky when you're working on it and it has an 11 millimeter bolt. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that is not right at all. Oh, that's scary. Ooh, that exhaust is still pretty hot there. Okay, so this definitely is still mounted. Looks like to the bottom right here. And of course, that's a different size bolt. Looks like it might be a 10. See, we got a 10 right here. Maybe a 9. Nope. So it's gonna be 3/8. Cat-like reflexes. All right. Yeah. So this is this bolt is the first of them that is actually standard sized here. So let's see, am I doing that the right way? I am not. It's this way. Fuel might start coming out. Alright, that's loose enough. Just take that off. And do it by hand. Ooh. I saw some crustiness there. And that was also a wet bolt, so that's not a good indicator at all. Okay, we have a crankcase breather tube. I dropped some pliers out in the yard.
Is it these?
Yep, wire snippers. I know this isn't the ASE approved tool for fucking doing fuel lines, but I'm not gonna spend all day looking for the right tool. Okay, so throttle valve. I believe that's what this was. Yeah, this was connected to the throttle valve. What's that connected to? Okay, so there's a deal right here. This is your idle control. This little rod, you see that moving?
Yeah.
So that's basically if it's running too high, there's a little thing that spins around in there that'll change your idle speed. There's definitely been way too much fuel in there. The choke is working, so that's good news. So now we need to take off these 3 screws on the top right here and check the fuel bowl. So that, I bet you these are 3/8 now. What is that? Yeah, that's 3/8. 5/16. And that is the right fit. Okay. Yeah, 3/8, 5/16. That's how you know this is American made. You know, and I will say, even though this thing broke down, whatever, blah, 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 it should be very fixable, easy to get back on the road, cheap to fix. And, yeah, you know, like as long as someone keeps doing the maintenance, which I have a feeling is probably going to be me, this should run forever. That looks like the kill switch. I wonder. Well, it looks like there might have been a switch on this at one point. I actually don't know what this was supposed to look like. Like as far as like controls and stuff go. I think this is pretty close to accurate. And the disengage and engage lever. This looks factory, but the way that it's mounted definitely does not look factory.
Yeah.
I'd say this carburetor's factory, although this gasket is very much so toast, and we're going to have to put a new one on there. I actually will use some of my secret stuff for that, though. I know every other YouTuber is going to be like, why are you using RTV? But to be honest with you, like, it's just as good, if not better. And when you have to pull stuff apart like this, like, it's just quick. You know what I mean? I don't have to go order a part. Hopefully someone has the gasket, blah, blah, blah. No, I just already have the RTV, and hopefully, you know, hopefully I do it right. Okay, so this is one of your jets that I'm unscrewing out of the back here. I think that's why this bolt doesn't want to come off. Yeah, that is one of your, I think that might be your main jet. I don't know, we'll find out here in a second. Yeah, she's not wanting to come apart. Okay, so this has to come off. That's what the deal is, and I bet you that one is 3/8. No? 7/16, huh? This is one thing I did not like about the era of standard tools, is I don't see why everything couldn't have been just 3/8.
Yeah.
Or, you know, something like that. Okay, so see that like screwdriver socket looking thing over by the drill? You want to grab that? Thank you, sir. Okay. So now, down in this hole right here that I just pulled the jet out of, in this collar, okay, there's another little piece to the jet, and I don't know if this is the... But I will tell you right now, it is definitely threaded in there. Takes a flathead screwdriver to get out. This tool that I'm using is a jet ski multi-tool. Basically, I have a 2005 Kawasaki STX12 that I'm parting out. If anyone needs parts, get at me at snakerivergardens.org. A lot of the parts will be listed there, if not on our eBay, also Snake River Gardens. And yeah, I haven't got everything listed yet, so there should be contact information on both sites if you want to get a hold of me to try to get something specific. Now, see, without the video footage cut out, so I pulled this out of the bottom half here where we pulled the other jets. This, I believe, is the main jet, and this is the needle. So This is the collar to separate the two. So this is your float valve. This is, I believe, your idle jet. It could be the needle jet. I don't remember all the specific vocabulary. I just know how to do this because I've done it 100 times. Anyways, so now this is your float. This is what I was talking about that was probably stuck. And given looking at it, yeah, it probably was. But honestly, this isn't the worst looking carburetor on the inside I've ever seen. Our fuel bowl actually looks pretty clean in there. So I'm almost wondering if it isn't a busted gasket because it looks a little pressed in. So you see how this ring right here, it will press in around the edge of this. It looks kind of pressed in there. So I will probably just try to fix that with some RTV, but not regular RTV. They have fuel safe RTV. What I'm trying to do now is push this pin out that holds the float in. I got it to move. Of course, it doesn't want to come out cooperatively. I don't know if I have anything the right size to push this out either. Oh yeah, monster. Oh yeah. You just gotta get that attention. Okay, so I'm gonna try using a drill bit here. I got a really small one. Yep, that pushed that pin out. Okay, so this pin holds this in, and so basically, now that we have this all apart, this little rubber piece, the one that I suspect to be the culprit, yeah, we're gonna have to get a new one of those. That's for sure. Yep, I'm almost certain that was the issue. Because, I mean, you see how that's just crumbling off of there?
Yep.
So, chances are, we're gonna, oh, yep, someone busted the carburetor. See that?
Yeah.
So this one is going to need a new carburetor. Someone tightened down this too far and busted through the housing.
Oh, shit.
Wow. Man, you see how broken that is? Like, what were they thinking? You know what I mean? Like, oh my God. Wow. That's not even coming out either. Like, that's not supposed, that's definitely not supposed to be like that. Yep. All right, well, we're going to have to call the customer, let him know that, you know, whoever he decided to let work on this beforehand, basically, yeah, you know, he shouldn't have let him do that. So this carburetor is junk, guys. We'll end up making a part 2 to this video to show you guys the new carburetor, the resolution. And honestly, at the end of the day, this needle valve doesn't look too bad. It looks a little gunked up. It doesn't look worn away, or the jet and the needle valve. So we will actually probably save these parts and clean them for the customer. Same with the float pin. We'll save all of this for this motor here. But as of for now, I gotta pull this model number off this motor and look up a carburetor. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe for more, and we will see you guys on the next one.